Good morning. I realized getting up this morning, I was looking at my feed, and I was going to do this yesterday, and just had a very busy day. And there's my computer going off, but ignore that. Anyway, how's everybody doing? What is it? It's Thursday already. That means we're 2 weeks from Thanksgiving, and that's awesome. It's my favorite holiday. I love Christmas, don't get me wrong, but Thanksgiving is just low pressure, great food, everybody getting together and family and friends. And anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. It is every year. So I am going to talk to you a little bit today about all the fees that you pay if you're a real estate associate or real estate broker, because hey, there's a lot of them. So the thing is, anything that is ordinary and necessary to conducting your business is a legitimate expense. So that means that basically anything you're spending, you're going to be able to reduce your gross income by those expenses and reduce your net income, which in turn reduces your tax liability. And I've talked about that before, and that's kind of a no-brainer. But I'm kind of basically talking mostly to people that are just starting out, or people that haven't given this much thought, or just kind of refreshing your thinking on it. You do have a number of things you do, and I've found that working with people over the last couple of years, you've got desk fees, you've got brokerage fees, you've got to belong to the Realtor Association. In this area, that's PPAR, or Pikes Peak Association of Realtors, I think. And by the way, everything here in Colorado Springs is named after Pikes Peak, Front Range, High Country, or Aspen. So if you're starting a business and you want to name it something, think of something clever and cool. It just seems like everything's those four things. You open up a Yellow Pages, if anybody uses a paper phone book anymore, and yeah, it's full of those four things. So anyway, I'm not complaining. Love where I live, but basically the thing I want to touch on here, though, and the important part, and this is going to be short today, is that when you are doing your personal book, how do you write all this stuff down? What category does it go under? Well, simply, here's the thing. A lot of this is really up to you and your individual preference, okay? Now, say, for example, I know you got MLS fees. I know you're going to have desk fees. You're going to have some kind of brokerage fees. Do you lump all those together? Do you list them separately? I think that's 29A or 27A. It's funny, I should know this. The other expenses line on the Schedule C, pretty sure it's 27A. You can list all that stuff out individually, but here's the thing, you don't really have to, or you can list one thing, like broker fees and then a realtor fees, and put several things in one category. The Internal Revenue Service does like you to categorize your expenses, but you don't really have to go overboard with it. And that's the thing I want to share with you this morning, is that you really don't have to lose a lot of sleep over whether or not you're categorizing that stuff properly or giving it to your tax guy properly. In that case, if you are using a professional tax person, and I strongly urge that, I'll tell you why in just a second. Basically, if you give him or her your stuff, they're going to be able to figure out a way to do it in such a way that it's unassailable in an audit. So now, why should you use a tax professional? Did you know the average person spends 13 hours of their life that self-prepares their income tax? Let me say that another more intelligent sounding way. For people who prepare their own taxes without the help of a professional, they spend an average of 13 hours. Now, it is my opinion that if I'm spending 13 hours doing something that I don't normally do, what am I not doing that I could be doing and making money at, or otherwise enjoying life at, rather than that other thing? There is what I consider, I'm going to go off topic here a little bit before I close, but I believe in something called the time-money continuum, and kind of basically stole that directly from Einstein, but it goes like this. Simply put, money and time basically coexist in the universe together, and one goes hand in hand with the other. And you have to, for example, yesterday, and the reason I didn't get on a live yesterday, we had guys putting in a fence and a couple other things going on. We're getting a couple of bids on something we're working on in the house because, as you know, we just moved headquarters 3 months ago. And thing was, it was just a busy day. But the fence, I'm using it as an example here, those guys paid, spent about, let me think about this, maybe 8.5 hours putting up 70 feet of fence. A beautiful professional job. Okay, now they charge a certain amount of money to do that, and I've got a pretty good idea what the breakdown is, line item for materials and labor, and the labor was probably somewhere around $1,000. So if I had done this labor, how long would it have taken me? I'm certain it would have been over 8.5 hours doing it by myself. They basically sent 3 guys out who were experienced, they knew what they were doing. And the moral of the story here is it's actually worth that $1,000 for me to have somebody else do this work that knows what they're doing. And a good tax professional should be able to save you, in many cases, enough money to actually net their fees out. Because there are just things that, you can do all the reading in the world and the research and all that, and that's great. If you've got that 13 hours and you enjoy that level of detail in your life, that's fine. But if you come to somebody that loves it like I do, it's not going to take me 13 hours, and it's going to be beautiful and shiny and sparkly. So anyway, as far as the realtor fees and the opening topic of why I was doing this, basically, don't get too hung up on naming everything perfectly when you do your taxes or when you're doing your books. But I would, in fact, actually categorize what you're paying to each individual vendor, we call them. Anybody that you're paying money to in the process of running your business. Matter of fact, QuickBooks Online actually uses that word, vendor, for anybody that you're paying. I would definitely do vendor categories so that you remember why you spent the money. But again, don't get too hung up on it when you're actually doing your taxes. Just make sure that it is in a proper category. But if you've got association fees and realtor fees and desk fees, and your brokerage is basically billing you for the realtor fees, so you're paying them instead of the association, you can list that as brokerage fees. You're not going to get thrown in IRS jail for that. So anyway, that's it for today. I did want to kind of keep this short, but yeah, I missed you guys yesterday. Popped on and cut a couple posts out, but real busy day, and we do some work here too. So anyway, as always, I want to sign off by wishing you all an amazing day full of abundance, joy, peace, and love. And I will see you soon, maybe even later today. Okay, so long.